And we're live on the Touchdowns and Tangents show. I'm Pete D. Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank James Berry.
Wow, Kenny, you forgot your last name, huh?
No, I was like, should I say my middle name? Yeah, I'm going to do it.
So we got intro music back this week after taking a couple weeks off. So shout out to that, man.
Yep.
Other than that, this is the same Touchdowns and Tangents show you may have come across over the past, 60 episodes? Something like that.
Just about.
And for those of you who don't know what this podcast is like, why don't you go ahead and tell them, Kenny?
This podcast is like when you know you don't have enough money. You know you don't have enough money to get what you want to eat. So you just settle for some hood spot. Or better yet, you just end up at a Wendy's.
This podcast is kind of like when you don't have any money in your account and you wake up and you're like, I don't know where dinner's going to come from today. And then your two homies hook you up with some food. And then you're like all good until the morning tomorrow when you're going to have to figure out where breakfast is coming from. But yeah, you're just good right now for the next couple hours. That's what this podcast is like.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's totally perfect. Pete had a good one for the first time in a while. Bravo. Wait a minute. The storm is coming.
Kenny just really wanted to use the thunder.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have waited for a much more dramatic moment, but...
I could have, but, moments like that only come in a flash, so I figured I had to.
And yet another play on thunder. You're cheap.
No, I'm not. I'm reasonably effective.
So, big event of the week. Kenny's favorite sport. The college football season concluded.
Boo!
And Kenny's going to actually have to be productive on his Saturdays.
Wow. I don't even watch college football.
Okay, that's not what you've been saying this whole 17 weeks.
I haven't had a TV since I came back from Vegas. I haven't watched any TV in over a week.
So a week. Relax.
But the streaming count?
Breathe.
The streaming count?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, then yeah, I was watching stuff over my phone. Bottom line is Alabama sadly is not going anywhere. Like they literally had their third string running back, who's a 5-star recruit and the best player in California, who in the old days would have just stayed in California, but he's like, no, let me go be a backup in Alabama. And
for whatever reason.
So hey, let me take years off my life just being a backup at Alabama.
So what's going to happen with Jalen Hurst?
He's either going to switch positions or transfer. Lane Kiffin was going in on Twitter last week. So, honestly, I think he should go to FAU, Florida Atlantic. That'd be perfect for him. Because, you already know the coach and who... He never played better than when he was under the tutelage of Lane Kiffin. So, why not go to a coach that you know and they have an All-American running back on their team who had, I think 28 or 30 touchdowns this year?
What, they went 8-3, 9-3?
They won their conference. I think it was Conference USA or Sunbelt, something like that. They won one of those conferences and turned around and had one of the best seasons in school history. So, and they have young talent, and they're actually recruiting in Florida. So, for him, I think it'll be perfect. You already won national championships. Let's be honest, you're not going to play quarterback in the NFL. You either switch positions at Alabama and keep winning, or you go and be a star on a smaller stage. Nothing wrong with that.
And in homage to the title...
Homage?
Yeah, whatever.
Isn't the H silent?
I don't think it really matters.
It does.
You got what I was saying.
Yeah, but it sounded...
Anyways, the point is, George is here. They had the number 1 recruiting class last year?
Yeah, and they have 3
3
5-star quarterbacks on their roster, but not for long.
And we already knew that running back Terrell Davis, Gurley, Herschel Walker.
You forgot Garrison Hurst.
Damn, I forgot about Garrison Hurst.
Musa
no
Smith.
Sean Marino.
Yeah, no Sean Marino. Musa Smith. You already said Gurley.
and they had about 4 running backs.
And that's just running back. They have Champ Bailey went there. So, I mean, Hines Ward went to Georgia. I could go. Linebackers have come out of Georgia. Everything comes out of Georgia. Wide receivers. Everything comes out of Georgia except the national title. So,
ouch.
Shout out to Raekwon Davis, who got shot like before the season started and had a pick in the national title game. Kudos to that guy, who will probably be a high first-round pick.
Honestly, though, I'm a huge fan of Michelle.
Yeah, Sonny
Michel. He sold me.
If he can get past the fumbling thing, he'll be a better back than Chubb in the league because he's faster.
I think Chubb is done.
Chubb is who he was always going to be, but those ACL injuries sapped some of his speed. I
think they lost that. He's lost that second gear.
Yeah, and it's also how they utilized him. Because I mean, you keep running a guy inside, it's gonna affect their power. It's gonna affect their burst and their speed. And he's just not. He can't get to the edge like he used to.
Even in that Georgia game, they just kept beating a dead horse. It was like, man, put this guy out of his misery. He's not gaining any yards. Here's the thing: why Alabama always wins, because their players are always fresher at the end of the season.
But they didn't have as much depth this time around. Georgia had more depth, but Georgia's defense was better. But like, as a team, like that hit, that backup linebacker almost killed a guy and tried to fight his coach. He turned the tide of that game.
As a team, Alabama's twos can be starters at like 80% of the schools they play.
Their threes could be starters at 80% of the schools.
And like you said, that backup linebacker, that dude 45,
48.
He's huge, and he's fast, and he's a gunner. I was like, bruh, I'm not trying to block him.
There was like video of him being interviewed, and one of his team was like, "What about Felicia?" And he just looked like really angry, like, "Why would you say that?" And then somebody was like, "Oh, you violating, bro!" Like whatever he said, that's probably why he got no fight. He's like, "I can't believe y'all tried to blow me out on national TV, knowing this girl's probably watching. Now you messing up my side chick situation. That's a man law violation." The dude who put the microphone in his face is D'Angelo Russell, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Well, pardon Kenny's misogyny, but
no, this is just a man law that you don't violate. And
no, I get it. I know what man law is. Doesn't mean we have to expose it on the podcast.
It's not exposing it.
We're better than that.
Are we?
We are.
All right, fine. I'm saying this is coming from a person who said I sounded like a girl, and I'm like, I didn't know.
I didn't say you sound like a girl. I said you were acting like a girl, and what I meant was soft. So apologies for that. I didn't know breathing was feminine. Because I was equating
femininity to oxygen.
No, I was equating femininity to being soft. Not tough.
You have to think about that.
The opposite of tough.
Because last time I checked, women breathe oxygen.
And they give birth to babies, so women are plenty tough. So yeah. That was my fault.
It's all cool.
I retract that statement.
No, you can't retract it.
Regret it.
You can't retract it.
I deeply regret it.
You apologize for the pain that it caused.
And I will move forward and not say it again.
Yeah, you apologize for the pain that it caused, and you'll do better to understand your privilege.
Ah, okay. Okay, PR Kenny in the house. Snaps to that. Alright, Kenny, so Reggie Nelson came in and played safety for Georgia.
I knew you were going to say that. And Sean Smith played corner because he didn't press at the line.
But really, though, I mean...
He didn't press at the line.
That's really, though, after he took that sack, did you really think he was going to come back and win? Especially on that next play?
Yeah. I knew Alabama was going to find a way to win because they had all the momentum offensively.
I think
everything they was doing was working, and those corners weren't really all that good.
Like I was saying, is Georgia just looked gassed. Roquan Smith looked gassed that entire fourth quarter.
Patrick Willis Jr.
He's more of a will. He's more of a true will, I think. So I don't think he's quite as physical as Patrick Willis. I'm not saying he's not.
He got physical with those Alabama runners.
No, I know. I'm not saying he's not physical, but I don't think he's as physical at the point of attack and taking on blocks and blowing up people like Patrick Willis.
So he's Will Witherspoon? Because that dude was great for a while. He played for the Panthers, the Rams.
I know who Will Witherspoon is.
That dude was like, I think, the 7th overall pick. He was a high draft pick, too.
He was always like an 88 man.
Yeah. Had great speed, acceleration. One time he was in the 90s.
I think he's a true will linebacker in the 4-3 defense.
So you be mad if the Raiders drafted him and put him behind Khalil Mack.
Here's my thing with the number 10 pick
or number 9
is, especially with the way John Gruden's trying to do things, you got to get someone who's going to make plays. So you got to either get someone who's going to get you sacks, picks, or touchdowns.
So Minka Fitzpatrick?
So
you can't do that.
Either Minka Fitzpatrick, maybe play him as a rover with Carl Joseph at free safety, or...
What are you going to do with Obi? Make him a linebacker?
Third safety. The Cardinals are doing it. Why not?
The Cardinals have an amoeba defense, and they're
gonna get out. They hired Alabama's defensive back coach, so I'm sure he'll be able to utilize safeties that can't cover. And besides that fact, I really like Josh Jackson. I think he's the can't miss guy there.
If he's Iowa corner, you want an Iowa cornerback? See
Desmond King.
Desmond King is a free safety.
No, he's not. He plays corner.
Yeah, he's really a safety.
They play him slot corner. Yeah.
Slot corner, but he's really a safety.
And he's balling.
Yeah, but he's not fast. He got like a 4.5, almost a 4.6. Josh Jackson might mess up and run a slow 40, and then y'all still gonna want him. And Minka Fitzpatrick could be a pretty good corner, even if he does run like a 4.55 or something. I would say you go linebacker or defensive line. Defensive end. If let's say Bradley Chubb falls.
For sure, that's the pick.
Or somebody might shock him. I don't know, but if not, you got to go explosive offensive player or lock down like an elite offensive line.
I'm not sold on the receivers in this class, so I wouldn't go that route.
Raiders might just have to take the best player or trade down.
I've heard maybe even trading up for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, but do you really want to risk all that on a Penn State running back?
Besides that, there's so many other running backs in this class.
I'm saying, like, Ronald Johnson...
I would hold out for Michelle in the second round.
Ronald Johnson...
I think that would be ideal for me.
Is Jamal Charles.
I would take the LSU receiver, the LSU running back, too.
Guice?
Yep.
By the way, Darius Guice. By the way, Ronald Johnson out of USC was rated the number 1 overall tailback by Pro Football Focus. Not that that matters, but does it matter? In contract negotiations, I feel like it matters.
It only matters when you want it to matter. Let's be honest about Pro Football Focus.
Are you trying to start a beef with them, or are we just being honest? Because people weren't using that metric 5 years ago.
Like I said, I think I said this to you off air last week. I'm part of the problem because I have leaned on that when I'm lazy and don't want to do my own film study.
Or statistics.
But I think even Maurice Jones-Drew, he exposed it like last year. It's how can you apply... How they're trying to apply objective statistics, as in like a grade, to a subjective sport. Not just that, but you're grading them when you don't fully understand the scheme and their responsibility.
Like Tre'Davious White, even though he actually had a great year. He was like voted Pro Football Focus.
What he's saying is, how can you really grade someone if you don't fully understand their scheme and their responsibility? It's like, yeah he might have made a play, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was his responsibility or what he was supposed to do.
Yards after contact, it's like you can't. Some backs will get you 7 yards and then nothing, and then another 4 yards, and then 5 yards. That doesn't mean that they're inconsistent. It just means it depends on the run, the block, the scheme. Well, a lot can happen.
And not just that, but the other thing is you don't really understand who's grading them. So it's like they're making a one-size-fit-all type of metric, but football isn't that simple.
It's not an analytic sport.
It's not that it's not an analytic sport. It's not, you can't apply that simple of a metric to it, of saying, okay, this person performs this well.
Because I feel like those metrics work in the NBA, but not in the NFL. They work in baseball. maybe in hot. I don't